Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or hello if you're new here. I'm Charlotte, and today we're going to be talking about the Tati Beauty palette. So this is the first launch by Tati Westbrook, or Glam Life Guru, here on YouTube. And her first product is an eyeshadow palette, obviously. And I'm here to talk to you about it. So it is a pretty standard palette. A lot of people were comparing this to like a Morphe palette when they first saw it, because it's kind of like, you know, generic. Like, there's nothing super special about this packaging, especially online. But when I got it in my hands, I will say, she's hefty. She's thick, okay? So I do appreciate that to it. When I got this delivered, it took about a week, I think, to get to my house, a little over a week, and I live on the East Coast. So I wasn't like too bothered about that. The shipping was relatively inexpensive. It was $5 compared to Jeffree Star is charging like $10 for shipping now, so I didn't mind that shipping charge, though I do kind of feel like her brand's just starting out. But with other brands, I feel like if you're spending $50 on a palette, I would appreciate free shipping, but it's not that big of a deal in the long run. But this palette retails for $48, which is expensive, but then if you compare it to other palettes like Manny's palettes, his are exactly the same price point, and I actually think that you're getting more shades in this one. So anyway, it is like slate packaging. It's got a bit of a rubberized texture, and it says Tati Beauty on it. The things you should probably know about this brand is that it is cruelty-free and vegan. This palette, if I can open it, has a humongous mirror, which I really, really appreciate, but you can also fold it back to use it. So this is what the inside looks like. You have basically 6 shades with 4 different finishes, which I have never seen done before, and I think it is so, so cool. So you have a matte row, a sequin row, a metallic row, and a glitter row. There's been a lot of controversy about these glitters. They are not eye safe. Now, I think a lot of people think that's the end of the world when it comes to glitter, but the FDA rarely updates what its standards for beauty products. I think the last time, I don't know about glitter, but you know, their qualifications for like pigments versus eyeshadows hasn't been updated since the 90s. With eye safe glitter, if you're going to make an eye safe glitter, it has to be very, very finely milled to the point where it's almost like a metallic eyeshadow. So if you want something that is a bit thicker, that stands out, that's a bit more glittery — I have the palette on my eyes right now — then usually it has to be not eye safe. Now, what does that mean? Eye safe glitter. Not eye safe glitter. So with not eye safe glitter, you're not supposed to put that immediately around the eyes. Now, Tati talks about this in her video. Like, if you put it on your eyelid, most likely you're going to be fine. You're not going to die. But things I would absolutely avoid would be your inner corners, your waterline, and then obviously don't just like take it and put it on your eye. Also, I would be careful with like a glitter liner. I probably wouldn't use these as like a glitter liner because I feel like that is also really close to falling in your eye. But it just means that these particles of glitter are a bit chunkier. It's not craft glitter, but they're a bit chunkier, so they do have the ability to probably scratch your eye a little bit. You're not going to go blind, most likely. You're going to be fine. I think a lot of people, especially when I see it on Trendmood, they're like, my eyeballs are going to fall out, and I'm just going to have these gouged out holes in my face from using not eye safe glitter. And that's just not the reality of the situation. I feel like I work with glitters sometimes, not a lot, but a lot compared to the average person, and nothing has ever happened to my eyes, and I use a lot of non-eye safe glitter. As long as you just, you know, you're smart about it, then you're going to be fine. Just don't put it in your eye. You know, the areas I talked about earlier. If you do feel irritation, just rinse your eye out. Be smart about the situation. But I'm not too bothered by these not being eye safe because I think the quality would suffer if they were eye safe. But I know a lot of people are very, very sensitive about the whole eye safe issue. So who is ready to see some swatches? The first shade I have is Memory, which is a matte black. It's not bad. Then we have Ritual, which is a matte brown. Pretty. Story, which is a orangey, warm-toned color. Soothe, which is a beautiful camel brown transition-y tone. Soothe. Aura, which is a pale cream color. You can't really see that on my skin because I am basically the color of Aura. And then Poet, which is this beautiful berry tone. Look at how pretty that is. So those are your mattes. Those are very strong in my opinion. Very strong. Okay, next we have the sequin shades. This is in Memory. That's so pretty. I don't know if you can see the glitter in there, but it is gorgeous. And then this is Ritual. Wow, these swatch very, very well. They kind of have different flecks of glitter. This one is Story. That's insane. Story. And this is in Soothe. That has like a golden fleck glitter. These swatches are just so strong. It's crazy. Aura, which is this cream shade, seems to have a pinky shimmer to it, but you can't really see because of how pale I am. But it's kind of got pinky flecks. And then Poet is like one of my favorites because it has blue flecks to it. What I've noticed with these metallics is that they're really, really finely milled. So the glitter is not chunky on these. Maybe a little bit chunkier in the black. This is Memory. And then this is Ritual. They're kind of really finely, like less intense glitters. And I think that's because Tati always talks about eyeshadows for more mature eyes. I wouldn't call her mature, like, I mean, not like in age-wise. Like, I think she's maybe like, what, 38 or something like that. But for older eyelids, if you have something really glittery, it's really hard to use something that has a bit more texture on an older lid because there's just so many creases and things are just less smooth. So I can definitely see how these shadows would be really, really nice, these metallics, for someone, because I know a lot of women, when they get older, just avoid shimmer shadows. So, okay, this is Story. That one's kind of like a bit sheerer. And then this is Soothe. Soothe. Okay, then we have Aura, which is a really pretty pearl shade. And then Poet. So those are your first 3 rows. It's very, very impressive. But I will say these are not like the most shocking shimmers. They're, you know, more toned down, a bit more natural. I don't mind it. I would like something a bit more dramatic, but I think that's why the glitters are included in here. And these are just, I mean, probably a formula that's really hard to find, I would assume. Okay, the glitters. The dramatic glitters. I'm going to do it on my other arm. The first one is the Memory glitter. That's what she looks like. These are so reflective. And these are so, like, compared to like ColourPop's loose glitters, these are so stuck together. And like they're just, you can use these without a glitter glue. Like, it is possible. And it's really hard to say with a lot of pressed glitters. Okay, then we have Story. And Soothe. Soothe is a bit patchier than the other ones. That's a good angle because you can see the Aura, which I think is my favorite because it has a bit of that blue, like, rainbow background. And again, this one is patchier. The lighter these seem to go, they get a bit patchier in like swatch application. I don't know why that is. Maybe because the pigment acts as more of like a gelatinous base. And then Poet, which is honestly so pretty. Yeah, Poet's a bit more put together. But those, yeah, those are the glitters, which are stunning. These are probably the best glitters I've tried. Pressed glitters. And then these are the swatches of everything else. Okay, so first I'm going to take the shade Soothe, which is this brown shade, on a JS5 brush. This is like the most basic brown glitter eye ever, but I love it. I love it so much. These shades are just really, really pretty. After Soothe, I'm dipping into Ritual, that matte brown shade, and this actually appears much cooler on the eye. I don't know if you guys can see when I put it on, but if I just stamp it on the corner over here and then start to blend out, it's much cooler than it looks in the pan. So it's not really a super warm brown. It has a bit of a cool essence to it. The one thing about this palette is that the darker shades do tend to catch in certain areas of the eye. They're very pigmented, so they take a little bit more time to blend out. Next, I'm going into the sequin formula of Ritual, which is right there. Next, I'm going in with the shade Ritual again, but in the sequin formulation. So that is the sequin formulation. This one does have a bit of kickback. I think that's just the sequin formula is a little bit more kicky. I'm just stamping this on here. She did say in her video that if you blend these out, then the glitter will kind of lose itself in the blend and will just kind of fade away. So if you want to use these to get the glitter out of them, you need to just stamp it on. Next, I'm just going to take a clean finger into the Ritual shimmer shade. Look at how pretty that is. Like, this whole palette is so freaking pretty. And then I'm going to grab some of Aura in the shimmer formulation, which is this white row, and kind of get that into the inner corner. Tati did say that you could use these without a glitter glue in her video, but personally I just find glitters a lot easier to control with a bit of a glitter glue on the eye, so that's what I'm going to do. And the glitter I'm going to use is in the shade Soothe. I'm just really gently pressing that on there. Look at how pretty the glitter is. I love glitter. Then I'm just going to take a tiny detailer brush and mix the matte shades in Soothe and Ritual and just smudge that onto the lower lash line. Then I'm going to go just put my lashes on and I'll get back to you. Okay, so let's talk about my final thoughts with this palette. This is honestly my favorite palette I've tried in a really long time. I think it is stunning. They're just so smooth. There's something about the formula in here that is just so high quality. It feels like things are just so smooth and soft without being too wet and kind of, I mean, this formula is remarkable. It's very pretty. I love the neutrals in here. I did such a boring eye look. There's nothing really exciting about it besides the glitter. But I feel like that's what's so beautiful about this. You know, most of your clients, if you do artistry, are gonna want something neutral. Most of the time. Depends on your clientele, but most of the time. This is like the perfect palette for like bridal makeup, prom makeup, homecoming makeup, like all of those beautiful memories that people make wearing, you know, a face of makeup. Not everyone, you know, does like a glitter eye look on a Thursday. So I feel like this is just such a special palette. Even though it is neutrals, like the formulation is so good. And like, I honestly feel like the makeup community needs to be a bit nicer to neutrals sometimes. they have feelings too. And I think a majority of the world would probably like something more like this than, I don't know, like a Jawbreaker palette. It really is a really great palette. Also, can we talk about that mirror? It's amazing. It's huge. I love a mirror, and it's like the clearest mirror I have ever seen. And then it flips back for all my artists in the house. I think this is amazing. Now, I wanted to compare, because a lot of people were talking about how expensive this was on Trendmood. While this is expensive objectively, if we compare it to something like Moonspell, which I'm sure this packaging could have been more expensive because it has all of this custom detail. So if we're going to do some quick calculations, makeup math, this has about 18.75 grams, right? Yes. You get 3 rows of 5 shadows. And here, it's hard to do with one hand, you get 3 rows of 6 shadows plus a row of pressed glitters, which aren't cheap to make. And then they're about the same size in the pan. I think these are slightly bigger, but still, I would say if you were, I don't know why these are two very different palettes, but I thought I liked this palette. I do like this palette. There's nothing wrong with this palette. But this just really wowed me in its formulation. I would say its formulation is very superior to Lunar Beauty. But of course, these are neutral shadows, which are easier to formulate, typically. So I just want to say thank you for watching. If you want to see more looks with this palette, please do comment below. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Of course, treat people with kindness. And how exciting is it that we're getting another Harry Styles album? Because I am excited. I'm very excited. And on Taylor Swift's 30th birthday. Wow. It's going to be an emotional day for me. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, goodbye. Have a good day. See you later. I just saluted. It's been a long day. Long day. And I'm covered in glitter. Okay, seriously, for realsies. Bye.